with another video. We are obviously doing some coin roll hunting here, so it's pretty good stuff that we're going to get into. Not only am I going to finish up this nickel box and show you guys what I find left, I've got about, I want to say about 15 rolls or so in here. But besides that, that's not going to be the best part of this video. The best part about this video is, for me personally, I'm going to be talking a little bit about the state of our economy, because if you've been watching the news at all, you've probably realized that there's a lot of crazy stuff going on in United States. All right. So first and foremost, we are going to talk about the U.S. economy. We're going to get into a little bit about tariffs. We're going to get into the stock market. I want to get into things like DCA, because I have talked about stocks before as an alternative form of long-term investment. And again, before I get into a ton of this stuff, guys and gals, I just want you to remember that investing is a very personal thing. Always remember to do your own research. This is not necessarily financial advice. Everything I say here is more or less for educational and entertainment purposes only. Make sure you're always doing your own research. Make sure that you are educated, because things are ever changing. This video may not be as relevant on Monday when market opens, right? Consider those things when you are investing, because everything is changing in this market. So without a further ado, let's get into some of these nickel bags or nickel rolls. As you see, I went through a lot of this stuff earlier today, just because I wanted to try to save you guys the pain of going through. I mean, I know I said a small amount of time in my short, if you watch the short, but this actually took me, I want to say this took me about close to an hour. I'm sure my wife came out to the garage, because that's where I do this, and asked me a few times, hey, are you almost done? Anyways, so let's get into some of these rolls here. As I start to look through it, I guess I'll start off with coins first before we get into like the economics and, things like that, stocks. But I will say, what do you guys keep for nickels? Drop it down in the comments below, because for me, for nickels, oh, look, that's kind of unique. I keep war nickels, which is anything 1942 to 1945. I've yet to find a buffalo nickel, but I love buffalo nickels. So if I could find some in here, that would be crazy. Obviously, V nickels are great ones to keep. So I haven't found any V nickels or buffalo nickels here, but not a reason to give up any doubt. We also have, of course, we're going to keep anything 1938 to 1959. It's definitely keepers. And then let's see, anything 1960 and above, I'm really not going to keep, just because there's probably tons of it, etc. So let me get this opened up. I don't keep change. That's good. That's smart. It's a good way to live. As you see, I'm trying to do the same thing as you, Pixel. I'm trying to take all of these nickels back to the bank, because this was pretty much everything that I didn't keep. And then if you guys missed it, I also have a short where I show you, let me see if I can pull some of these out. I show you some of the ones that I did keep. These are all mostly 21s. That's the newer ones. The older ones I kept are pretty cool. These are kind of my favorites. So I normally don't keep change too, but there is a lot of cool ones here. Which one cooks dinner? Neither, because they both eat out. Yikes, that's a good one. I don't know if I should laugh at that. I don't want to get canceled, but that was kind of good. What is happening? I just got here. What's happening, my man and my ladies and everybody else who's in here? I just want to let you guys know what's happening is we're going to be going through a bunch of these nickels, but I'm also going to be talking about the economy, tariffs, what you should be doing, or at least what I'm doing, right? What am I doing to protect myself and to make more money in this economy? Because if you've turned on the news at all, if you've been on Instagram or any kind of social media, you've seen tariff wars, you've seen people getting scared, you've seen people losing their minds, selling. You don't have to do any of that. You really don't. It's really simple. And like I said, it's not investment advice, but it's what I'm doing. It's what's worked. And if you look back at history, you just got to zoom out, right? Zoom out, look back at history and realize that these things happen all the time, right? If you're like me, 30 years old, you've been through multiple wars, You've seen multiple crashes in the markets. You've seen housing downturns. You've seen depressions. You've seen everything under the sun. So the best and most important advice I can give you for what is happening, I just got here, is do not panic. If you take anything else, or if that's all you take from this video, it's simply do not panic, right? So let's get into opening these rolls. Yeah, I go yap, yap, yap. I'm yapping away. I guess that's what people do on lives. The losses in the stock market is massive. You are right. Losses in the stock market is massive. Listen up, the buy kid, because this is probably for you if you're invested in stocks. If you're not invested in stocks, why not? You should be, right? But yes, don't let your hope fade away. That's very important, because let me tell you why. You remember during COVID or during that time, you know, people were losing their mind. People were cashing out. People were selling everything. And you know what really they were doing? They were selling themselves short. Why were they selling themselves short? They were selling themselves short because then eventually in 21, 22, things recovered. Prices started to go higher and higher. And guess what? All of those people sold at a massive discount. If they would have held, they would have been up, right? This is the same reason that you have to keep a level head. Yes, selling themselves low. That's exactly what they did. You have to keep a level head when you're investing, whether it's investing in nickels or it's investing hundreds of thousands of dollars, which is the point I'm getting into now as far as stocks, is I'm getting into my first 6 digits into stocks, right? This should be the, it should be the only place that you don't sell yourself short. Yes, stocks are going down. You, as a consumer, should realize you are now getting a better price for Apple, Tesla, Nvidia, Palantir, whatever it is you want to buy, whatever it is you like, you should be buying a little bit more of it as often as you can because you're getting it at a discount. People don't realize that, and like you said, they sell themselves low, right? My hope has disappeared since I realized no one loves me. Hey man, listen, if it's some guy in Vegas, thank you for being here, and we love you in this community. All right, massive low taper fade. I'm not sure what that means. I mean, I know it's a haircut, but cool. Massive low taper fade it is. Anyways, let's get into this nickel roll here because that one threw me off a little bit. Good one. Thanks for throwing me off. And let's see what we got here. We're starting with a 71. It's no good, right? Don't overthink these things. Some of these are just not going to be good. They're not going to be keepers. But I guess what we'll go into as I'm looking at these is the economy, right? Let's talk about tariffs. What are tariffs? Does anybody know what tariffs are? Tariffs are not all that fun, and they're not that great for our economy. Essentially, what we're doing is we're trying to charge other countries taxes for them charging us taxes. So we're trying to charge them a reciprocal tax on things that we import from them. So essentially, it's kind of a form of WAR. I don't want to say it because I don't know if that's gonna cause any panics or anything like that in the system and YouTube, but essentially it's an electronic WAR, right? We're basically saying you're charging us this, so we're gonna charge you that, and if you charge us more because we charged you more, we're gonna charge you more again. It's insane. Is it gonna work? I don't know because that's not really my field. Ooh, look, a 1964. I was just telling someone about this. They said that some of these are keepers, double dies, and things like that. We'll put it to the side for now because I don't really have time to look. I'm yapping away, kid. Listen, love you. You want to be here, you're free to be here. If you don't, you're free to go. But tariffs are important, and they do affect you. The buy kid, they affect you whether you believe it or not, or you realize it or not. They are going to affect you in the short term. They are going to affect you in the long term. And essentially what it's doing, it's throwing your money away. Kind of like I'm throwing this money into this bucket. You're essentially going to end up paying more for certain things. And you're probably not going to realize it until it's happening, right? Why do people always go, oh, groceries are more expensive? This is more expensive. Since the COVID, we have printed 30% of our money supply. Let that sink in. All of the money in the United States has, essentially 30% of it has been printed since 2020. So If you realize that and you can understand that, you will also understand that food prices will never go back to what they were, right? So I know I'm yapping away, and I know this stuff can sometimes be hard to comprehend, but it is good to understand what's going on. And tariffs are essentially a tax on other countries for taxing us, right? So China is one of the big ones, unfortunately, because I don't think their tax on us is as high as the government is saying. But for some reason, we are taxing the living heck out of them right now. So how old am I? I'm old enough to know better and young enough to still be able to do something about it. That's how old I am. And I'll give you a rough estimate. I was born in the 90s, okay? So I don't know if that's going to make me young or old. Based off your name and everything you've said, it probably makes me old to you. But essentially, like I said, this will still affect you. And what you do about it now will also help you in the future, right? Because think about compounding interest. What you do now is going to compound over time. Exactly, see? And so you're not. So what you should do is you should take my advice. You should look up compounding interest, because I'm old and you're not. Compounding interest will essentially just keep growing over time, right? So pay attention. You should probably stick around for this one. $6 or $7 trillion was wiped off of the stock market this week, which is insane. I don't even think I know how many zeros are in a trillion. I think it's like 10 or 11. But $6 or $7 trillion were wiped out of the stock market this week. So what that means for you too is if you are not investing in stocks and you are young and you look up compounding interest, you will realize how far ahead you are of all of your kids. All of your friends, sorry. What am I yapping about? Everything that matters, my friend. That's what I'm yapping about. So pay attention. Look up compounding interest. If you don't know what compounding interest is, not to be mean, but that's the first problem. You should know what compounding interest is. Nice little 75 I'm keeping. This cold I'm coming down with. But you should know what that is, because essentially those $6 or $7 trillion that were wiped out of the stock market today, or this week, means that it's essentially a Black Friday sale. What are you typing on? The Buy Kid. You're typing on probably an iPhone or an Android, right? So which one do you believe in? Do you believe in Apple? Do you believe Apple's going to be around for 30 years? Guess what? You should probably start investing in Apple, right? There's a link in one of my other videos. If you want to sign up for Robinhood, you definitely can. You don't have to do it. I'm not here to make money off of you. I'm still in the womb. I don't know any of this. Exactly. So I'm throwing some free game at you. Save this video, like it, watch it over and over again, and understand all the terms I'm going to mention in this. And I guarantee you, with time, you will see the effects of compounding interest and what it means to save, $1 a day to put it into a stock that you like, right? But essentially, going back to Apple, if you liked Apple last week at a more expensive price and now it's dropped 10%, why would you not buy it this week? It's a Black Friday sale, right? So those are things you have to keep in mind. If $6 or $7 trillion are wiped off of the stock market in 1 week, I think this has been the worst week in stocks since around the COVID time, right? So keep that in mind. If this is the worst week to be, in stocks, if you're already in, there's really nothing you should do, at least, again, not financial advice, nothing you should do, nothing that I'm doing, but buying. I'm not selling any of my positions. I'm not going to sell myself short, and I'm not going to be panicking, right? Because there's people that are panicking. They're going to lose their shirt. They're going to sell because they're scared. And unfortunately, some people are going to sell because they don't have a choice. Some people are like, man, this was my emergency fund. Or they just started investing in 2024, which was a crazy time to start investing. You were making free money left and right. People were just euphoric, right? Look up the fear and greed index. If you don't know what that is, that's another one to know. Fear and greed index. That's going to show you how last year everybody was extremely greedy. The greed index was all the way green. It was like hitting the lever. And guess what? Just a month and a half in, from like middle of February, That went from all the way extreme greed, all the way, we're back down to like 9 or 8, extreme fear, right? So, Warren Buffett, if you know who that is, he always said, when everybody's greedy, you should be fearful. And when everybody's fearful, you should be greedy. That's a super easy term to remember. For some reason, in the human psychological mind, people forget about that and they do the exact opposite. People get pissed off when the stock market is dropping, and people get excited and euphoric when the stock market is rising. Why though? If your goal is not to sell, if you are young, like it seems like most of my viewers are, your goal is to buy as much as you can, as early as you can in your life, so you can retire and live a comfortable life as fast as you can. Do you really want to be working a job until you're 62 years old, relying on Medicare to take care of you for your last 10 good years of your life, and then hoping that you have $1 million saved in your, crummy retirement account that your employer gives to you? Absolutely not. No, you don't want to do that. The best way is to take control of your finances early. Do it for yourself, do it for your family, do it for whoever or however you want to do it. Or just to say, like, F this, right? I don't want to be working when I'm 50. I don't want to be working when I'm 60. When does it start? It starts when you're 20, it starts when you're 30. I started in stocks when I was 25. I'm in my early 30s. I haven't even touched 34 really, so I got plenty of time horizon to invest, right? I'm not, but again, this is not only for you. There's a few other people in here, and so I'm trying to give out some free game. So my point is, again, buy as early as you can, buy as much as you feel comfortable buying, and always, I try to tell people, try to invest in different portfolios. Don't just put into your retirement, because taking out of your retirement is tough. If you're investing into your retirement account from your job, that's a great way to go. But also have a Robinhood account or something separate, right? Instead of putting all 7 or 10%, whatever you're allotted at your job, if they're not matching you a percentage to where they're giving you, if you put $1, they give you 50 cents. So then you're making $1.50 for every dollar. If they're not doing that for you, you should try to at least lower your limits on what you're putting into your retirement and take the difference and put it into a Robinhood account. I don't know what that means, bro. I think that's like a germ that's been around for millions of years. Good for you. I'm happy. I'm happy that you're whatever that is. Anyways, try to invest into like a Robinhood account or something else that where if you ever need it, right, you should try to just take a portion of it, but not the entire thing. Because then you have to start back over, right? The best thing to have is a savings account that you don't need, but it's there, right? So that's why I say don't put it all into your retirement, because that may kind of offset you. Another thing I want to get into is how long, right? How long is this pain going to last for the tariffs? Nobody knows. Nobody really knows. And so if you're looking for an answer for how long the pain's going to last, it could just be starting, right? It could just be starting a month and a half in, and we could be in this for another month. We could be in it for another 2 months. We could be in it for 2 years, right? How long does the average recession last? I think in the U.S., don't quote me on this, but the average recession lasts about 18 months, I think it is. Last I checked. So if it takes 18 months, right, we're only a month and a half in, that's not going to be a good time horizon, which is why I go back to dollar cost averaging, right? If you dollar cost average into your Robinhood or whatever it is, it's going to be something that's going to help you in the long term, right? Why? Because that means if stocks keep going down for another month and you're dollar cost averaging, it's not going to hurt as much as someone who's just going to YOLO in and they're just going to throw all their money into the stocks at one time. You're going to throw 3, 5, 10 grand into stocks at one time, or $10, whatever all your money is. If you throw it all in at one time, you're going to have a bad time, right? So keep that in mind. I would probably only be investing. What's going on, everybody? Sorry about that. What is happening? My screen went black. You are totally right. My phone died, so I went back to get the charger. I'm back. So sorry about that delay. Let me know if the audio still sounds good. I had to take out my mic and plug in a charger, so sorry about that. Let's keep going with these coins. And what we were last talking about was kind of tariffs and how long they're going to last. Essentially, they'll probably last, who knows? It looks like some countries are already giving into the pressure of tariffs. I know Mexico said they weren't going to go tit for tat with tariffs, so don't necessarily know what that means, but it sounds like they don't really want any problems because you need to remember Mexico and United States are also really good trading partners. Canada is saying if you don't tariff us, we won't tariff you, which is also good news. I know some countries, I think Vietnam, recently, Vietnam got hit heavy. They got hit with like a 80 or 90% tariff or tax. And I think Vietnam said, hey, we'll take tariffs away from you guys. So we're not going to charge you guys any fees to import US product to Vietnam if you guys take away that 90% hefty tariff from us importing to United States. And you need to remember, we probably import a lot more product from Vietnam to United States. I think that's where like Nike moved their headquarters. You've got some furniture companies that moved there. You've got a lot of Chinese companies or companies that were outsourcing their product and production in China. They moved to Vietnam last time in around 2018 when we had tariff wars with China. So they moved a lot of their production to Vietnam. Nike, right, being one of the bigger ones, they don't want any problems. They don't want tariffs in Vietnam because that will affect the Nike shoes coming into United States. Now, all of a sudden, guess who has to pay that additional 90% raise in tax or the difference of whatever it was before? You, the consumer. Nike's not going to pay for it. They're going to pass it along to you. So, Vietnam is saying, hey, we don't want any of these things. So they're essentially going to basically say, we're not going to tariff you if you don't tariff us. Man, if you're turning 10 on April 9th, first of all, happy birthday, I guess, because that's pretty cool. Second of all, you're here extremely early. You want to remember, or at least keep this for when you're a little bit older and you can open up your Robinhood or investing account. You want to save this video because a lot of this stuff won't be relevant, like taxes and tariffs, but there's still a lot of gems in here that I'm going to give you so that you can be set up for when you are ready to invest. And that's also like what kind of companies I'm buying, right? So during these tariffs, what I've noticed is stock prices are absolutely tanking. It's mostly in the sectors of like, anything that has to do with obviously like electronics, AI, anything that is just like technology based has just been absolutely getting obliterated. So what am I doing, right? What am I buying? If you've been paying attention, if you've been looking around at this scene here, you'll see some of the little scribbly writing that I've been doing. Things that I'm buying, right? A buy for me right now, just because the price I think is under $100. AMD stock is a buy for me. Nvidia is an absolute buy for me right now. As a matter of fact, I think yesterday I bought a stock at under $100, Nvidia. I've been buying Nvidia dollar cost averaging Nvidia at around $120 for the last 6 months or so, whatever it's been. So definitely a buy for me is Nvidia, right? NVDA. For me, also Apple stock. Apple stock is good. It's a long term play. Nothing wrong with it. Apple is going on sale, so that's another stock I'm buying is Apple. Meta stock, although I didn't really like Zuck for the longest time. It looks like Zuck is coming to his senses and he's realizing that, censorship is not good on social media and platforms. So it looks like Zuck is kind of coming to he's coming out of the dark side. He's coming out of that like kind of woke mindset that I feel was kind of trapping Meta and Facebook platforms. So that's one thing that I would say is Meta has kind of come a long way in the last year. So that's kind of one reason that I am buying Meta stock now. I feel things are changing. They're implementing new policies, and they're no longer who they used to be as far as like censorship and hiding things, and just like there was a lot of like misunderstandings on wow, look at this, on Meta. So Meta is a buy for me now. I am buying Meta and Amazon. Amazon, if you look at Amazon, one thing I like about Amazon is their I want to say it should be their PE. So their, their profits to earnings, their price to earnings, sorry. Price to, I'm a little bit tired. Price to earnings is really good on Meta. So that's a good one, but Amazon is really good. And I'm getting kind of sidetracked looking at this nice 2012. You don't really find these 2012s in good condition. Probably not worth keeping, but I'm going to keep anyways just because I can, and it's 5 cents. But Amazon, I think, is one of those companies that it's somewhat a sleeper. It has only grown, I think, 100% in the last 5 years. So some people would say 100% in 5 years, 20% a year. You could obviously do better. But Amazon, I think, is a long term. It's a safer one. It's a safer play, and it's easier to get in and out of. It's obviously part of the Mag 7, so Magnificent 7, right? So you've got a bigger market cap there as well. So you won't see as crazy swings in it. Tesla is always a buy for me, guys. I know they're in heat right now. But what I always tell everybody, I bought a Tesla. I didn't buy an Elon. Trademarked by me. Okay, I didn't buy an Elon. I bought a Tesla, right? I'm not driving Elon to work every day, so let Elon do whatever he's gonna do, and enjoy the products, right? Of course, I can't wait for him to get back to focusing solely on cars, energy storage, because energy business in Tesla is up, I think, a little over 100% year over year, which is massive. That means that they're scaling their energy business, probably like battery packs, energy storage, energy production. They're scaling that 100% year over year is pretty massive, right? And I think a lot of it is happening in states like Texas, who are welcoming them into the state, right? Keep that in mind, right? So I enjoy Tesla for that reason. They also got a lot of good things happening where they're making, a $25,000 car. Whether that comes out this year or next, I think it's to be seen, but it's something that for sure is going to be in production soon. $25,000 car. I don't know if that's going to be the robo-taxi car that you're going to essentially be able to outsource or hire out when you're not using it, which would be essentially a source of revenue for you. So keep that in mind, right? They are doing cool things like that. You've also got, that's two. You got the robo taxi, or sorry, the robo, what is it, the Tesla bot coming out. So that Tesla bot, I think, is going to be, once it's in production and once it's tested, they're going to be there, and they're going to be essentially taking over all of the boring jobs that nobody wants to do. Heavy lifting, back-breaking jobs, just all the boring stuff that nobody wants to sit and do all day is going to be what those robots are going to be taking over. So I'm excited to see what life with robots is going to be like. I might also keep a shotgun close to me at all times just because you never know, right? I still talk to robots nice. When I use Chat GPT, I still try to ask Chat GPT how its day's going, because you know what? I think you got to be nice to these robots, because you'll never know who's going to be in charge at the end of the day. Look at this, cool 2021. And you will see that as I'm hunting these, the 2021s are going to be some of the nicer ones in these rolls. And that's going to be because I've been holding this box of nickels since 2021. So don't ask me why, but I have. And I think I finally realized that as I'm going to be investing more money into real estate and stocks, all of this money has no reason to be sitting underneath my desk waiting for me to someday get to it. So I've just made some time, and some of the nicer ones I'll keep, but essentially what I'm trying to do is get everything back into either stocks or real estate. My friend, I'm definitely not paranoid. Paranoid about what? What would you think I'm paranoid about? And let's see. Hi there. What is your day going on? Day in the floor trip. You biggest secret. New phone at school all week, and tomorrow I need. I'm not sure what you're talking about, bro. Dude or dudette. I'm not sure what you're talking about. I definitely can't give you a new phone, but I can give you the advice you need to buy yourself a new phone. So keep that in mind. I know you're 10, but you could apply this to anything, really. You know, you can do a yard sale. You can, I don't know, lemonade stand. Where do you live? You can make money anywhere, bro. Especially if you're young. People see your drive. They see your hustle. Hey, can I mow your lawn? Can I do this? Can I do that? Can I pick up some trash for you? Can I clean out your trash bins? Something like that. You can always make money. So you just got to get creative. And then you can buy yourself whatever you need, really. You know, I'm kind of unfortunately too focused on trying to make my own money, of course, and money for my kids. So, because I got a few of those, and they're getting expensive. They're getting big. All right, let's see what we got. I'm still hoping to find some silver. Would be nice, and I just dropped one of them in there. What's this? Let's pull this random one out. 1984, and it's no good. So what I have noticed is with most of these, they're newer, unfortunately. So I haven't found anything too crazy good, except for some of these. I did find maybe about 25 of the older, like 1950s, etc. But there's like a 1940s or 1939 in here, something like that is actually pretty good. Is it this one? Ooh, here it is. So check this out. This is definitely not bad for 1940s. This is what, almost 100-year-old coin. 80, 90 years old. 80 years old, I guess. Something. 85. Whatever, you do the math. I'm kind of tired. Check that out. It's actually really good condition for 1940s. When you look at some like 1980s that are just beat to crap. So this is actually really cool. So that's probably one of my favorite ones. I found that on a whim earlier. Ooh, look at this. What we just found right now, 1941. To complement it. You see, this one shows a lot more wear than the last one, but it's still pretty cool. And I'm still hoping to find some war nickels. Would be cool. Even if I can't get any buffalo nickels here, I would definitely enjoy finding some war nickels. Let's see what else we got. Some 1990s. Nothing too good in this one here. But other things I want to talk about too before I get too far into obviously just the coins, because I don't really do lives. When I do lives, it's kind of more to talk about economy, the current state of things. The last time I did a live, it was still a really good time to buy stocks. And then all the way up, as it ran all the way up, I never did more lives. I never was hyping myself up about, look guys, look how much money I've made. You guys should have listened to me. I don't hype myself up like that because of things like this, right? At any given moment, as things are getting hyped and things are just going skyrocketing, any given moment, anything can happen and it can bring the whole party down. And so essentially what I want to do is I want everybody on this channel to keep a more level head and to be able to buy and hold for the long term, right? Just don't buy and hold nickels like me, because there's no money in this. I probably lost money holding all these nickels over 3 years. The nickels probably were devalued in some form when I could have actually, you know, been putting those nickels to work and you know, put the money elsewhere. But essentially that's what we're doing now. And we got a bunch of 21s, so we're gonna let those slide back into the bag. But the other thing I want to talk about, let's see here, is dollar cost averaging. So if you don't know what dollar cost averaging, again, I suggest you look it up. Dollar cost averaging is just essentially taking a few dollars every day and investing it into your favorite stocks. And that way you're not putting in one lump sum into the stock market. I already kind of mentioned it briefly before my phone died. But that's what that is. Because I will say, some people think this is the bottom, right? And they throw $2,000, $3,000, $10,000 into stock market. And yeah, you know, I bought at the bottom. When essentially we could keep going for a lot longer, right? So if you take those $2,000 and you divide it up by 200 days, now your 200-day moving average is going to be a lot more stable, right? Could be higher, could be lower, but nobody really knows when the bottom is. If somebody tells you this is the bottom, buy everything now, they're full of BS. Don't listen to them. They're probably also trying to sell you courses or do something like that. So don't listen to those people, because nobody knows when the bottom is, right? And essentially, until this whole tariff thing blows over, the stock market has already priced in most of the pain of Liberation Day, or, you know, just obviously tariffs in general. So yeah, there could be more pain, and there probably will be on Monday, right? Over the last few days, we lost $6 trillion in market cap, which is insane. But like I said, you just want to keep going. You want to keep swimming. The worst thing you can do right now is panic. It's kind of too late to panic. If you really wanted to sell, if you got a bunch of stocks, you really should have sold at the highest levels. Always look at those, price per earnings, right? Or, just check to see what the forward PE is on a company, and you can see how overvalued it is. If something is, 100 times price per earnings, then you know that stock is heavily overvalued, and you want to be careful and you want to tread lightly on how much of it you're buying or how much of it you're still holding, especially if you're up. If you're up a lot, you want to, try to trim and hedge some of those positions. It's a smart move. Ask me how I know. My wife told me recently I should trim some of the higher positions we had. We have some positions that were up 300-400% in a matter of 6 months. I decided to let it ride, and essentially now I'm letting it ride because I don't want to lose out on those potential gains that, may come in the future. If I would have cashed out, if I should have, I should have cashed out probably some of it, maybe like a third of it. I should have listened to my wife and cashed some of it out, but I didn't. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hold, I'm not going to say I'm going to hold the bag because essentially I'm still up 300%, which is insane. But I'm still kind of chasing that 400% up now, right? Now I realize I'm down 100% from where I was. I'm still up 300%, right? So to some people that may be like, well, why don't you sell some now? I don't know. It's tough. I think probably just realizing the time horizon I have is still 30 years. I think I'm willing to take more of a gamble now than opposed to having to take that gamble when I'm like 50 or 60, which would make it harder, right? So like if I have any older followers that are on here, yeah, I would probably be more worried, right? If I was in my 50s or 60s, I might be paranoid. I might be ready to sell, right? I would be up 300%. I might sell some of it now because I'm thinking about retirement. And last thing I want is to go into another downturn when I'm up 300% and take any chances of like recession, right? So always consider your investment horizon as well. How much time do you actually have to invest is also going to make a big difference in your overall portfolio and how much risk you can and should be taking, right? Again, none of this is really financial advice. I'm just some dude on the internet with a bunch of funky coins showing you and telling you what's worked for me, right? So keep all of that in mind, guys and gals, but I will try to steer you in the right direction and try to make sure that I'm offering you as much value as I can, not only with coins, but with stocks, and then also real estate. If you guys have any real estate questions, I love real estate. I have a rental property. I have my primary home. I'm looking at another property, so that'll put me at 3 properties. I would say about 1.1 mil in real estate right now. Obviously, more than half of that is owned to the bank, but there's still equity there. So keep those things in mind. If you like real estate, you can ask me about real estate as well. I just want to add value to you guys, to your time, and then go through some of these coins. So I know it's kind of late. I don't expect a lot of people to be watching this now. For those of you that have been sticking around, I appreciate it. And then, yeah, let me know if you have any additional questions. Or let me know if you see any silver that I might have missed. I'll definitely appreciate that. I'm not seeing anything here, and I'm making a little bit of a mess everywhere, but let's see. Ooh, anything good? I'm trying to keep these here so I know how many rolls are in this bin, just because I'll end up making a mess. But I'm trying to keep all of these here so I can just probably throw this all into a bag and take it back to the bank tomorrow. 1983 here looks kind of cool, but I don't really keep anything that's that's post 1960. Just 1960 and before is kind of what I try to keep. And then a few of the newer ones that are in these rolls that are just extremely nice. Oh, cool. Look, there's another 1964 here. I think someone was talking about like a double die obverse or double die mint date, DDM, I think. I don't know. It'd be really hard to zoom into that D to see if it's got anything like that. But let's see if there's anything else. 2016, no good. 2002. Oh, look at this one. This one's kind of gnarly. This one got beat up pretty bad. You got some like damage there at the bottom. And let's see. These are all newer. Yeah, I'm not really trying to keep anything new unless it's in like really nice condition, just because I don't think there's much value in the new nickels. 1970. This one doesn't look that bad, so I'll probably keep this one. Anything that's complete like this, 1970, this puts this at about, what, 55 years old? It's not bad. That's not a bad looking coin for 55 years old. I'll tell you what. There we go. Look at that. See, the back's got a little bit more wear, but that's okay. We're going to throw that into our keeper bin. And then, let's see. I'll give you a look at everything else I got in my hand right now. I'm not finding anything good here. It's just hard to put all of this in front of the camera here. Ooh, we've got another 1964 here. And this is a 1988. I don't know about this 88. It's kind of, it's hit or miss. But this 64 here is pretty clean. Let's throw all of that back into the bin. Check this one out. 64. I think the 60s is kind of just, it's a sweet spot. I shouldn't keep it, but I'm going to because it's 5 cents, so it doesn't really matter. One day it might be worth something more than 5 cents. It could be worth something more than 5 cents now. Again, and everything is kind of intrinsic value too, right? What's someone willing to pay for that 1964? It could be like a day. So, you know, they might be looking for a coin. And I have a few 1964s now, so I could probably list that on eBay and then just say it's like you're going to get a 1964 coin. So something that you could do over time as well. So to my younger viewers who don't really know about stocks or can't get into stocks right now, that's also something you can do. You should maybe ask your parents to open you like a eBay account and you can like flip coins online. Look at that. We got another one. 1962. So we got a 64. I think, what else was it? A 63 and a 62. Let's see, anything else? 90. These look newer, so no good. Let you guys listen to the coins falling for a moment. Let me know if you have any questions. I know I've been yapping a lot. 96, no good. And then the other thing I just want to reiterate is buy what you believe in, right? Don't buy something because some guy online told you that, you know, Meta and Amazon's a good deal. Buy what you believe in and hold it for as long as you can. Or, here's the other important part, or the key part, hold it until something changes at that company. Right? Let's say the CEO is the visionary of that company. They are the ones that are absolutely just running things and just making that company a great company. And then they decide to leave one day, right? At that point, you probably want to consider selling out or selling a portion of it before it just becomes major, you know, like headwinds, right? Because if that person is the one that's making that company shine, then you want to make sure that you're not fully exposed to whatever it was that you were exposed to, because if that's the only thing keeping that company there, then you might have a hard time in the future, or if another CEO comes in, it may not do as well. So keep those things in mind. One of the companies that comes to mind for me for something like that is Alex Karp. You can look him up. He's a great guy. Alex Karp at Palantir. PLTR. Palantir is just an amazing company. I'm sure it would still do okay without him. But I think the way he runs that, I think people admire him. I think they like working for him. And, you know, because they are who they are, they would still thrive. But I wouldn't allow my exposure to be as high as it is right now to Palantir. And for full disclosure, that's about 125 shares of Palantir that I have. I wouldn't allow my disclosure to be that high into Palantir if Alex Karp decided to leave. I would probably immediately trim some of my positions in Palantir. And that's, again, just because I'm up so much on it that that if he decided to leave, I would probably have to just cash some of it out. Let's see, 98. Yeah, we're not finding anything too crazy anymore. Good thing is we've still got some bags to go through. And if you guys are here and you haven't hit that thumbs up button, I really appreciate a thumbs up. It definitely helps with the YouTube algorithm, which is something I didn't really think was true, but I guess it is true. So thumbs up would be greatly appreciated. And we're going to get through these last few rolls. I'm going to try my best to show them all to you. There's a 1970. No, it's beat up at the bottom. I didn't realize it was all scratched up. Let's see, 2015, no good. And then is there anything that you guys keep besides the Liberty V nickels, obviously the War nickels, Buffalo nickels? Is there anything else that you guys keep on here when you're hunting through these hunting through all of these nickels or anything? Is there anything unique, any special year, or any like DDOs, double die obverse? Is there anything cool that you guys keep? Definitely drop a comment below, just because it is something that, you know, obviously I like to learn. So if there's something that I'm missing, I'm definitely gonna take your advice. We've got, let's see how many. We've got about 5, 6, 7. We've got about 7 of these to go. I'm gonna take a quick drink because I'm getting a little bit parched here. Interesting. Sensational. All right, let's get through these last 7 rolls. And then let's see here. What else do I have as far as notes and advice for everybody? I guess the last thing would be to hold as long as you can, right? I think holding for the long term, holding for, I mean, it doesn't have to necessarily be for retirement, but if you buy something and it goes up and you want to hold it, or, you know, even just do it a smart way. I've heard some other YouTubers do it that way. I forget his name. It's another guy that lives here in Vegas. I forget his name. I'm not going to butcher it. Hit the like button for this one, guys, because this one is a solid advice for stocks. Just hit that like button real quick. I know there's 5 of you in here right now, so you really help me out. But when you buy a stock and it goes up, let's say it goes up 100%, if you can cash out your original earnings, right? If you can cash out your entire original money you put into it and just keep the profit in that stock, you essentially got a stock for free. Think about that, right? So if you put in, you know, whatever, $100 and then it goes up 100%, you take out your $100 back, right? You keep your $100 now and you just keep the profit in there. Now, all of that money that you have there, that's all play money. That's money that you made already. And essentially, you don't have to worry about losing your $100. Whatever happens at that point, it's fair game, right? So keep that in mind. That's kind of a cool thing to remember. And if you do it that way, I think that will help a few of you, especially if you're starting off earlier in your portfolio. That will definitely help you out. I'm telling you all of this because nobody really told me this when I started investing years ago. I have a buddy who helped me start, and the cool thing is he helped me start for free, And so that's kind of why I'm so adamant about trying to help people out at little to no cost besides time, right? And if you're willing to listen and you're willing to learn, essentially the stock market, real estate, and not this, but precious metals, all of those things can essentially change your life and your path. And I would say I would argue that the sooner you start, the better off you'll be later on in life, right? The less you'll be kicking yourself like, oh, if I should have done this, I could have done that, right? Don't be a shoulda, coulda, woulda guy or gal. 1988. This one's clean though. So, oh, never mind. It was a keeper until that back part. So, sorry. Going back to the bank. Check it out. I'm trying to get it to focus. Yeah, I don't know what that line is, but sorry about that. It was definitely a keeper until that back part. Let's see what else we got. Oh, we got another 63. This one looks kind of damaged. A little like for the 63 won't hurt anybody. We'll keep it. And if you're watching this and it's not live anymore and you made it this far, definitely still leave a like, just because I would appreciate it. These videos sometimes take time, right? And it's taking some time right now. See, this 2021 looks in better condition, but there's a scratch on the cheek, lower portion of the left side cheek. And so because I've got a bunch of 2021s, we're going to pass on that one. Really, I think what I'm keeping most of right now is like the older. I'm looking for the old stuff. I don't really want to keep a ton of new stuff. We're going to hunt through this and keep more of the older. Man, it's falling out here. I don't know if you guys can see. You guys can't really see the front of this bucket, but let me see if I can show you. It's starting to fall out the front. And I can't really move it back because I don't know if anybody knows. I got an Ike bag back here. So this is a sealed Ike bag. And I've already made 2 videos on this Ike bag. Everything inside of here is unsearched. There's probably still about $500 or $600 of Ikes. Thumbs up for the Ike bag. We're gonna get working on those as well. I actually have the first video uploaded. And if you want me to drop that first video faster, you can also go leave a like on that premiere and I will get that video uploaded or get it out faster to you guys. I have the second video that I need to upload. The first portion went crazy on that video. The second portion went, I think, even more hard. We found a ton of coins that I kept. And I'm not going to give away what I found. I'm going to gatekeep it a little bit just because it was some pretty cool stuff. And I don't want to ruin the surprise. But we did keep a lot of cool Ike dollars so far from that bag. So really, I'm excited to see what else comes out of that Ike bag, because it was actually some pretty stunner pieces in there. Unlike this, Lord have mercy, what is this? Don't tell me that's a buffalo nickel, because I'll be really sad. Ooh, it is, but it's got to be one of the newer ones. Is it or no? No way, it's an older buffalo nickel. That's insane. Man, this is the first buffalo nickel I find, and it's, unfortunately, it's horrible. It's in absolutely destroyed condition. Yeah, because I was looking at this, and I'm looking at this buffalo nickel, and this one looks different from the newer version. I thought it was this. I thought it was this 2005. But if you look at it, this is like the original buffalo nickel. It's really, the buffalo is actually pretty fat. And it just takes up most of the coin. But man, is that destroyed. That coin is just, that's the front. That coin is just absolutely obliterated. But you can see there the buffalo is a lot bigger. And then on the bottom, it's got that line, that hard line. And so that's how I knew that this was the older buffalo nickel. Well, at least I can say I found a buffalo nickel now. That's insane. I've always bought these. I've always bought them because I've never really had the time to look through, nickels to find buffalo nickels. It's really, for me, it's one of those things where I'd rather just buy them in sets online. For the person that just joined, There it is, a Buffalo nickel. My first Buffalo nickel find in this nickel box that we're pretty much almost wrapping up. But hey, I'm happy to find it. It's not in the greatest condition, but I am happy to find it. And there's a 73, but because of damage and all of the background noise on there that's going on, we're gonna throw that one back as well. Let's see what else we got. These are a bunch of 2020s, 2017. Wow, that's wild. Ooh, we got another 1964 right here. Let's see. What do we think? She's a keeper. I will definitely keep this coin. Let's see. Ooh, is it damage or dirt? Looks like it's just dirt. Looks like it's just dirt. We're going to keep it. Apparently someone was saying, oh, look, another 1964. Someone was saying that there's something called Easy Est. This one's got some damage, so this one's going back, top right side. There's something called Easy Est, and I guess that's a pretty good like coin cleaner. I don't think I would do that to most of my coins, but there is some exceptions where like some coins are just absolutely obliterated, and at that point it's not really worth keeping them. So it's not a bad idea to just try it on those coins because it's already, you know, if they're not going to get fixed, then they're not going to be keepers anyways. 1987 here. My coins are falling out of the bin already. I can't tell if this is off-centered. No, it looks pretty. Looks pretty all right. Let's see here. Anything else? Got a 74, but it's got some damage in the center. I'll show it to you in a moment here. And then everything else is essentially going back to the bank because it's no good. Man, these coins are falling out left and right now. 74. You see that damage in the center, though? So, no good. No bueno. All right, how many do we got left? We got 5 rolls left. So, if you guys are going to stick with me, I appreciate you sticking around. We are going on almost an hour live. That's pretty wild. I didn't think I'd be on here for an hour. But I did set a goal for myself, and that goal was to absolutely just destroy this box because I'm tired of seeing this box here. And like I said, these $100 that are sitting underneath my desk for 3 years could have been invested into something else. They could have probably grown in value, right? So let's get it back to the bank. Let's put this money to work, especially right now that everybody's so scared and so, you know, so pessimistic about the future. Let's put the money to work, put our head down. Let's get some things invested and, you know, keep moving forward, obviously. Let's see, what else? Ooh, we got a 73 there. Definitely not a keeper, though. Let's see, anything good? Any good years? Nothing. What else we got? Oh, this one in the roll looks pretty old. I don't know what that is. Let's check it out. Yoink, 1964. Little bit dirty, but we'll set it off to the side and we'll keep it. Let's see what else. I will say the 60s are getting harder to find. I've only done a few of these nickel boxes in the past, maybe about 3. But I do remember in the beginning, or maybe I got lucky, they were easier to find. Nickels were a lot easier to find than in the 60s than they are now. There's a 73, but it's no good. And I'm doing my best not to keep junk. I don't want to keep junk, and I don't want to store too many coins because eventually you end up with a ton of coins that you don't know why you kept, and that's not good. So let's see. I'm not very good at organizing them too, so that's why I love this setup that I got here to the left. I know a lot of you didn't really see that, but got some of these here so that I can organize them a little bit better. All right, 1965. It's in decent condition. Ooh, the back is just absolutely destroyed too. It's not Ring of Death, but it looks like it's got some little bit of too much damage on that one for me. So again, we're not keeping junk. All right, let's see. All right, let's see if we can manifest a buffalo nickel that's not absolutely obliterated like that last one, to where I couldn't even tell what it was. So let's see, maybe we get lucky and we can bust out one of these buffalo nickels in decent condition. It doesn't even have to be like absolutely great. It's just got to be legible would be nice. Nope, no good. Ooh, look at this. This is looking promising. 1961. And the front is it's pretty good condition. The obverse on this coin is nice. Let's check the reverse. The reverse is cool too. This is a keeper. I'm definitely happy with that one. Let's see, 2020, but you've got some small scratches. Yeah, so let's see. 1980. I want to keep it, but it wasn't. If it was like in excellent condition, I'd probably keep that 1980. 1964 here with heavier wear. Ooh, even on the back. I don't know if that's that looks like damage in the center though. This is the Louisiana purchase. Got a few of those already, so no, I don't think there's any real value in those. And I don't really look for, I don't look a lot for like the DDOs or anything like that. I'm not really good at finding those, so I'm more or less like a numismatic collector. I normally collect like obviously by years, probably the best way to put it. But there's people out there that are really good at, you know, like the doubling on the letters and the edge and this and that, which is great. I just I find myself not having enough time to search through the coins that deep with like a magnifying glass, etc., or zooming in, you know, 10 times, 100 times. And it's funny too, one of my local dealers here in Las Vegas will make fun of people who, you know, collect those things. I mean, I would say if you have the time and you have the resources, more power to you, because I think some of those coins get expensive. But really, I don't have the time. I probably wouldn't have the patience to look through a lot of them unless it's like some of the larger coins, like the Ike dollars is definitely ones that I want to get better at. But if you're like hunting through nickels or pennies, it can get, you know, strenuous on your eyes, so you don't want to be doing that for hours on end. Oh, look at this nice pile of empty rolls we're racking up here. Yeah, and there's some, I mean, there's some cool finds, but like I said, it's not worth storing when essentially you end up keeping about 50, 60 coins, which is 3 rolls. You keep 3 rolls, and essentially underneath your desk you have, I don't know, whatever this is, like 50 or 100. Oh, you would have, I guess, what, 50 of these? You have 50 of these underneath your desk for no reason, when you can just keep 3 and send the rest back. 73, anything good? It's all right, but it's a 73, so it's going back. Sorry about that. I should have just thrown it in. We should have known better. 1963, though, 10 years older than that 73. It's in decent shape, so we'll keep it just in case we ever need it. I do have a few books. I have 3, I think it's 3 nickel books. Ooh, that one was not bad. Let's see. 1970, I think it was. Yeah, I have a few nickel books that that could use some of these coins, so I might end up filling them. This 2018 looks all right, and I don't think I have a 2018. 1981. No good, no good. And then I have about half a box of quarters. I don't know that I'll get into that tonight. 2 rolls left. This is second from last. So I have a box of quarters. I don't think I'll get into it tonight, but I think I do want to do that one next. Because it's half full. So half full box of quarters is about 250 bucks. So I can take back this. So this is about, I'm going to say it's going to be about 94, 95 bucks that I'm going to take back. Plus I've got about, I think about 250 Ikes that are going back. I don't know if I should keep those a little bit longer to learn how to really look and check for varieties, or if I should just send those back, because that'll be 250. This will make it about 350, and then obviously the quarters, 350, 400, 600 bucks. So if I get rid of all of these, 600 bucks going back to the bank. Like I said, it doesn't seem like much, but it does add up, especially when it's underneath your desk. So sending this back, and we are essentially, we're going to throw this into, I don't know, it can go into savings or it can go into real estate. We'll see how that plays out. Oh, 1963. Cool. If you haven't hit that like button and you're watching this later, definitely do so. Ooh, especially for this one. Check this out. See, I don't have a very keen eye for these things, but this one is more obvious, right? You can kind of see that the centering on this coin is off. So it's off-centered. It's more leaning towards the right, towards the Liberty. Liberty is very close to the edge, and In God We Trust is it's more like a deep dish. So I found about 4 or 5 of these coins, and you see the reverse is actually pretty fine. So that was always interesting to me with the, I think 2 or 3 of the ones that I found were the same way. The reverse was the edge was fine, and then on the obverse it was actually off-centered. So that's pretty interesting how that happened. We'll throw that into the off-centered bin. Pretty cool to find that second to last roll. I didn't think I was going to find any more of those. Being that those, I think I only found about 5. Those are harder to find. And then this one, 1990, nothing good there. I was thinking it was the same scenario as the last coin, but I think my eyes are just playing tricks on me now. What's this, a 1973? Ooh, look at this. Could it be? Could it be? This is also off-centered, right? I'm going to put it in that bin, but you tell me what you think. Oh, that coin had other plans. It went on the floor, so I'll have to find it when the short is over. But let me know what you think about that coin, if it was off-centered as well. What is this? We're not going to keep this because it's damaged. 1984. Yeah, these coins are flying out of here. It's almost like finishing up at the perfect time. Let's see. Ooh, 64. We're going to keep that here for a moment. Nothing else there. Our last coin roll is running away too. It fell on the coin on the floor just now. 1964. It's in definitely heavier circulated condition, but we're going to keep it. Come on, where'd you go? Don't hide from me. Look at all these empty rolls that fell to the ground. You never realize how much of a mess you make coin roll hunting until you actually are doing it consistently. Oh man, I really can't find that last roll. That's kind of disappointing. Where'd it go? Don't hide from me. Don't run from me. Nope, that's not it. Is this the... Ooh, look at this. 1954. See, we haven't had any 54s in a little bit. Oh, look, that's the one that was damaged in the center. Man. Almost looks like they stamped it J in the center there. Who knows? Pretty interesting, though. We'll just keep it just for fun. And then, let's see. I'm going to do one more look here to see if that's it. Nice. It is. Cool. Because I definitely wanted to get this finished up. I don't want to leave this for later. Let's see. I'm going to show you guys it's fully wrapped just in case there's anything cool in it. We'll open up this way. Because we can. My hopes is always to open something up like this and find some silver inside. That would be pretty cool. Nice little war nickel. Can we manifest a war nickel in here? And the cool thing about the war nickels, I think they have the date up in large. Like they have the sorry, not the date, the mint mark. They have the mint mark up on top of the Monticello. They have it up here somewhere. It's like a big P or a D or whatever the mint mark is. I don't know if they did it at the D mint mark. I don't know if that was around at the time, but that's what it would be. I think it would be like a P or what else? You have the Denver, you have the Philly, and then I think, what else? I forget what the other one is. San Francisco? It would be like an S. It'd probably be like an S. Ooh, what is this? 1969. Close, but no cigar. All right. What about this? 1988. No good. Oh, look at this. Yikes. What in the world? Okay, I can see the face. This is the Jefferson. It's not a Buffalo. Whoa. Look at this. Trying to get it to focus here. That looks like that's where some of those things in 2020 started. We're not really going to touch that one as much. We'll just throw it right back in. All right, now I got my finger stuck in there. 21, 2018, 2015. Nope, nope. 94. 2000. Kind of cool, but no. It's got some weird yellowing on it. 2002. Ooh, 1960. Here we go. 1960. I think this one would be a cool one to add to a book. If I'm missing a 1960. 2021 looks really good too. But let's see. It's pretty complete. We'll keep it. It's a really nice coin. Let's see. 75 is no good. What in the world is this? This is a 85. No thanks. 62, but it justifies its age. It's all beat up, but we will keep it because it is a 62. Cool. We made it to the end of this video. I can finally take all of these nickels back to the bank. Look at all of these rolls. This is insane. I didn't think I was going to pile up this many rolls when I started this morning. I had made some shorts on this exact box back in, I think, like 22 or whenever it is that I was going through this. But I had only opened up, I think I got to about, I don't know, probably I got to about 10 of the rolls. But I'll show you here off to the side so you can see how full this is. There you go. It's pretty much this entire bin. So pretty interesting. And then I'll do a full rundown of everything I kept. Like some of these here just for fun. These will probably, most of them will go back anyways. There's our one and only Buffalo nickel that we found, which is just in extremely sad condition. That is the obverse, the face of the Indian on here. And then there is our Buffalo. So unfortunately, I can't, because this is in such bad condition, I don't think I'll be able to tell what year this was. I think it's somewhere off to the left or right side, but we'll keep it for now, just, you know, just because it's a cool little first little find, first little buffalo nickel find in one of these hunts. And then these, I think, like I said, all going back. So I'll figure that out. But before I go, I'll show you, give you a sneak peek here at everything I kept. This is kind of everything older. This is pretty much pre-2000. And I think the earliest date I kept was like a 39 or a 40. So yeah, so I found some cool ones here. I'm happy to re-look through all of these and see what all I got. This is just all the new shiny stuff here. Don't mind the Ike, copper round, or some of the pennies in the back. And then, of course, some of the off-centered. So yeah, guys, if you have any questions, guys, gals, if you have any questions, reach out. Again, I love doing coins, but I also love talking real estate. I love talking stocks, investments, all of that stuff. So if you have any questions, definitely reach out. And if you also want to start investing in stocks, let me know. I'll probably add the link to this video as well. If not, you can find it in my other live, which was about 2 or 3 months ago, where it says, let's talk stocks or real estate, something like that. So you can find the link to sign up for Robinhood, and you'll get free stock and I get free stock. Again, it's not necessarily something I promote often, but if you do enjoy it, definitely, you know, feel free to check that out. Hit that like button if you haven't, because it definitely helps the channel. And we'll catch you on the next one. Peace.